Neil, you mentioned the other day this article that you read about the pitfalls of economic development.
The best part is that the article was written in 1993. It lays out so many things that I've seen over my career, and I think a lot of people in communities have seen. The first pitfall was what he called the failure of desire. And that meant like the failure to desire really transforming your community, really changing it and really making it into what you want it to be and bringing everyone else along in a shared vision.
I think it's so easy for communities to get complacent. Sometimes it's like if things aren't horrible, then it's why spend the time to do something new.
Yeah. Or if it's like not an immediate concern like that plant is closing, which he talks about, then do we have the energy to keep trying to transform ourselves? Probably not. His second failure that he described was called the failure of patience. And I like to think of that as like, don't try to be the hero or don't hire the consultant to be the hero for you. Instead, have that patience to bring everybody else along, to build the relationships you need across your community with businesses, with the civic sector, with everybody, and really strengthen that. Focus your time there so that you can do what you need to do when the time comes.
Mm-hmm. Right. I've seen that happen in communities I've worked with as well, where it's sometimes hard to be patient when you see an opportunity and you want to just go for it. But the idea of bringing along the stakeholders in the community along through the process makes it a much richer outcome in the end.
It's more fun, but it's definitely difficult. His third pitfall was the failure of perspective. And I like to think of this as just not being able to see that this one issue or project that you're working on in your community economic development landscape is connected to everything else, like housing and childcare and business recruitment and business retention. These all work together, as do the issues of like inequality and understanding how people of different income levels can participate in different ways. He just called this the failure of perspective, or the failure to see the whole communities as a system.
That's an interesting one. I think it is really hard to do that sometimes when you just see that one, or maybe your role is only covering a handful of those, and you might feel like you don't have capacity to shift some of the other elements, but to have them in your mind as you're working on your housing issue or your childcare issue makes sense that you'd want to do that.
The last one that he mentioned, pitfall number 4, he called the failure of nerve. And that really meant the failure to go to the root of the problem. And really, instead of taking the easy road, which is just do this one project and move on, instead, really stick with it. Really stick with how do we transform this community in ways that everyone will benefit, in ways that people's lives will be meaningfully better. And I think, again, coming back to that racial inequality or income inequality, and how do we really get at that is really different than how do we just recruit a new business to the community. Those things may be working together, but sometimes they're not working together. They're working in different directions. So what Jeep was imploring us all to do was to have the nerve to do the hard things, to stick with getting to the root of the problem.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Neil, for the Cliffs notes to that article. It sounds like he had some great insights, and it's lasted the test of time as well.
It's definitely an evergreen article. I hope everyone checks it out.
All right.